Hey everybody, Pastor Vern for your daily update for October 8th. It's a Thursday, the year 2020. Um, we got done with our books of the Bible, and so we're going to move on to some other things. I've been looking at some things that I think are kind of interesting that we're going to move to, but before we do that, we're gonna look at the Ten Commandments a little bit. Um, but I see some things that I've been kind of looking at that might be interesting, and I'd welcome some comments on that. I see something. I've kind of fascinated with something I read recently about all the occupations in the Bible. Tells us a little bit more of the times that both the ancient times and the time of Christ that would maybe give us some insight on how people lived and what the influences there were. I also have a book that I've just been perusing a little bit this morning about all the children in the Bible. You know, we talked about some of the men in the Bible, some of the women in the Bible, but the children in the Bible play a bigger role than sometimes we think. Children play a big role in our lives in general. If we have kids of our own or grandkids, or we are part of a nurturing group for other kids other than our own, or sometimes other influence about children that just touch our hearts. And so maybe that's something that we'll look at too. But let's start out with the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments, we're just going to do a little bit of an overview today, and then we'll get into specific commandments. Now, a lot of this is up for debate on what these commandments mean and how literally we take them. And one of the things that kind of causes the confusion in this is that the translation of the Ten Commandments was a difficult translation because of the specific Hebrew words into the more general English words. The Hebrew words, that language has a lot more detail to it. We have multiple words for the things we lump together. We'll see that in one of the first of the commandments that we talk about. I don't remember what number it is, but it'll be in actually I think it'll be in the second half of the commandments we talk about. And so, like most everything else in the Bible, there's a certain amount of interpretation that is played with the Ten Commandments. What we do know is the Ten Commandments were given to the people of Israel in their time of Exodus as they were moving between Egypt and the Promised Land. They were given to Moses. Moses went up on the mountain for a meeting with God. I guess you would call it a meeting. And the Hebrew people, the Israelites, they were grumbling and nasty about being in their Exodus time. You know, it's kind of human nature, I guess. They were excited about starting the journey. They were excited about where they were going to get to. But when the journey got a little long, then they began to grumble, and we know that from the time of the quail and the manna into the camps. We know that from the time that Moses tapped the rock and water came out, all those aspects that were happening during the Exodus. And they started to be rebellious. And, Moses would be summoned by God. And while he was gone, the people become rebellious. And Aaron had a unique role in here. He was the spokesman because we are told that Moses had a speech impediment, and so Aaron spoke in his place a lot of times. The ideas that God had given Moses, and I think probably God was in pretty close contact with Aaron too. But Aaron did not have that powerful leadership ability that Moses had. So in Moses' absence, Aaron became a little weaker. He would tend to bend towards the will of the people a little bit more. And we see that when the Ten Commandments are given to him. As Moses went up to receive the Ten Commandments, left Aaron in charge, and the people kind of overruled him. In fact, they even convinced him to do something that was blasphemous. And so Moses is up on the mountain. God gives him the Ten Commandments and these stone tablets, and he's to take them down to his people. he brings the first time, he brings the tablets down, and he sees what the people of Israel are doing. They're partying, they're freaking out, they're doing things which God had absolutely told him was unclean, unsafe, and unsavory. And even when he talks to Aaron, Aaron had created an idol, and man, that's top of the list, dude. You don't do that. And so at that point, Moses tosses the tablets, and they're broken up, and the process of restoring order happens. God did replace those for the Hebrew people. They are supposed to be in the Ark of the Covenant, wherever that is. The Ark of the Covenant maybe is another whole subject. That was supposed to hold some manna, supposed to hold the Ten Commandments. Gosh, I believe there's some other stuff that was part of that Ark of the Covenant, but I can't think of it right now. And whatever happened to that is a thing of legend. Many think that at least someone hid that when the temple was going to be ransacked. And so anyway, they restored those, and the people were given this as the basic law. Now, the thing that we're going to find out that I think is interesting is it really is two sets of commandments. The first set of commandments has to do with how we relate to God, and the second part of the commandments is how we relate to each other. And I find that a little bit fascinating, because there is a separation between how we relate to God and how we relate to each other. God is divine, God is holy, God is righteous, and we deal with God in that realm. Our fellow man, we have other problems with. We cannot count on our fellow man being righteous at all times and being someone who would not take advantage or harm us. And so the rules are a little bit different. Not that they are rules that are not of peace and love, but they are rules that allow us to do some discernment on our situation with other people. All right, so tomorrow we're going to start with the Ten Commandments and get some of that stuff kind of in our hearts and our minds in a new way, and I'm looking forward to that. All right. Well, you know what? As I always say, take good care of yourselves, watch out for others the best you can, and stay safe. We'll talk to you later.